not too many of us take on a marathon. I mean, we know it's tough going, but after running 18 of them, 18 marathons, Rob Kent found he needed a new challenge. So he took on what's been called the toughest foot race on earth, running 7 days through the Sahara Desert. He's back now, and he's run into our studio. Hello to you. Congratulations. I expected you to hobble into our studio. You seem surprisingly normal.
Well, I was probably as surprised as anyone. It was better than my best case scenario as far as coming out of it. So very happy.
How did you come out of it?
I was fine. Like the last stage was actually my best stage, and I finished fine. But looking around, it was pretty gruesome how everyone else finished. So I was probably in about the 5th percentile for healthy people walking away.
What were some of the stories that you saw?
Oh, there was, well, right at the finish line, there was one Brit who, his blisters were so bad they medevaced him back to the UK and had to have skin grafts on the bottom of his feet. And that wasn't uncommon. It was some pretty nasty ones.
I was reading some of your entries on the internet throughout your trip, and you started off, you were really excited about stuff, and then it kind of got, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Which day did you sort of hit a point where you had to say to yourself, why did I do this?
Oh, I got my head handed to me on a platter after about 2.5 hours in. We hit the dunes right off the bat, and it was as mean and nasty a thing as I've ever run. The point where I was thinking it might not have been a really good idea was stage 4, when we had to climb. It was a long stage, 75 kilometers long, overnight and the whole bit, and we climbed a couple mountains going into the early stages, and halfway up one of the mountains there was a bit of an avalanche, and a few boulders the size of TV sets came down and missed a few of us, and that didn't go over really well.
No, that just gives me goosebumps. And I wasn't even there. Some of the pictures that we're looking at seem beautiful. I mean, this is one of the things that must have kept you going, was that the scenery is so beautiful, and the friends that you made.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember thinking this is the hardest thing above and beyond anything that I've ever done before. But then you're running along and you're going, this is also probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was, I got pretty good at taking pictures on the run.
Were you running most of the time, or did you, you have to pace yourself, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And there was stages where when you're climbing these sand dunes that are 20-story buildings and in the sand, and it's just not happening. You're not running, and there's some stages where you're just a mess and you couldn't run. There was a friend of mine, her feet blew up so bad with blisters and everything. She did the 75K in flip-flops because her feet wouldn't fit into her shoes anymore.
Wow.
And there was lots of those ones.
Before you left, we talked about Viggo Mortensen and that. All these locusts come along and he eats them. You carried your own food, but did you have to eat any of those bugs?
That was one thing that I got lucky, was my food held out. I did see, we got off the bus, we were doing a 7-hour drive out into the desert, and they stopped for a little lunch and pee break and everything. It's in the middle of the desert, sit down on a rock, and whew, there's a big scorpion about 4 inches right beside me. I stood for the rest of the little break.
You know what? That's the point I just said. Coming home right now. But when you hit the end and you did it, and you had set out with such great enthusiasm and courage, I think, what went through your mind?
Oh, I was just, thank God it's over. It was, you know what? It's like a lot of those things, like Christmas morning when you're a little kid and the anticipation is making you crazy for the days before and going through it all. When you're done, you kind of go, yeah, it's
just a bike.
Yeah, that's right. It was just a race. No, it was everything I thought it would be, and a fair bit more, but then it doesn't seem as daunting like many things you do.
Being on national television and talking about it, I'll tell you, you deserve that. Your family, they were on here the last time. We didn't get them actually on the camera, but I know one of the things they said to me, I said, why is he doing this? And they said, he's crazy. What did they say when you got home back to the airport?
They said they were pretty happy.
Yeah.
But the neat thing, too, is all the people you meet and everything. And it's a unique environment, just speaking to the craziness, because when you throw yourself in there with all these people, and there's just spectacular people.
Yeah.
I'm sharing tents with people that have climbed Everest and done all kinds of amazing things, and you're all sitting there as peers and people that you'd never meet in your whole life, and there's like 10 of them right there. That that alone is an experience.
Also, and you're one of them. Yeah. That's very cool. Deserves to be proud of you, and I thank you for coming in and sharing your story now that you're back home. You know what? Your family pictures look great. You take care of yourself. I'm afraid to ask you what's next, so I'm not even going to go there.
That's what my wife says, too.
Thank you so much. That's Rob Kent.